Hello everybody and welcome to session 2 of the Oddyssey. I am Kai, your DM, very beleaguered, and it's only session 2. And would our 4 wonderful players like to introduce themselves from the top down?
Hello, my name is Liz, and today I'll be playing Miss Foam Forester, a square druid who looks like a stump walked out of the forest.
Square druid.
Hi, I'm Jay. I will be playing Francesca Elizabeth Steinbeck. You can call her Frankie. And they are what you'd get if you took basically any Sparkle Dog OC from DeviantArt and sent them to university for like 3 years.
Alright, hi. I'm Mock, and I'm going to be playing Biff Hitley. She's big.
That's all you need to know.
She's big.
And I'm Snail, and I'm going to be playing pretty much the antithesis of every other character that I've played on this particular server. His name is Tsugi, and he doesn't give a single fuck.
He's mean.
Damn.
He's a mean
He
boy.
is
He's a
mean.
rude boy.
I've never done this before. I'm very frightened, but he is holding the reins. I cannot stop him, you guys.
I mean, considering you spent like a solid half hour of last session just teasing the fuck out of Biff, I'd say you're doing pretty good, Snail, don't worry.
You're doing a very good job.
It's going
He
well.
took me by the throat and said, I'm mean now. Literally the first session. I did not plan on him being mean, you guys. I made a character that was supposed to be passive, and then he took me by the throat and said, I'm making fun of Biff for half an hour. Shut up.
Like the least passive thing he could do.
It was incredible, but also I'm scared. Mom, I want to go
Actually,
home.
let me get in on this action here. Okay, I really
okay,
don't
game,
remember
we got a
exactly
game.
what happened
Game.
at the very end.
Yeah,
we opened a door.
I was about to say, yeah, I'm gonna do a quick recap because it's been like a month and a half since our first session, just because life. But yeah, you'll for various reasons got invited to the Museum Hermetica, which like we had a fancy dinner party. You saw some cool robots, well, automatons, but robots.
There were some talking statues.
Yeah, because there was a talking statues. That cue the half hour of teasing that Tsugi did. You
Yeah,
guys,
there's some really good performers.
you sat down. You
Yeah,
had
I
dinner.
heard it was incredible. I'm so sad I missed it.
You met 2 scientists. Like what was like? I gave them a fucking title. I've now forgotten what that. But you met doctors Jeremy Boffin and Tidbit Weird, and had dinner with them and chatted a little bit, and then like. There was a big speech by one of the actual talking automatons that said, hey, there's a challenge going on, solve it or die, and then the floor dropped out from underneath you.
Oh yeah.
And then we did a sort of end of the Fifth Element puzzle.
Yeah, pretty much. You did a little
And,
bit of a short puzzle solving, then the
Oh,
doorway opened.
Dr. Boffin got knocked out.
Yeah, Dr. Boffin got
Yeah.
knocked out.
So that we wouldn't have anybody to actually ask.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, they're currently slung over Biff's shoulder as we go,
Yep, you're heading back up the
Tragic.
stairs.
like a sack of potatoes.
Poor Dr. Boffin. Is too much brain in his far too squishy head. This is what happens when you're human. It's just you're far too squishy. You can't stand up to the stuff that Toons can.
Oh, were they the
Worm.
real kind one?
Yeah, Boffin is real kind, and Tidbit Weird is
Weird.
Toon, but looks again. Boffin is human, but looks really toony. Weird is Toon, but looks really human. So there's that fun dichotomy there. And yeah, you guys are climbing the stairs. You guys are climbing the stairs. You guys are climbing the stairs. Gods, how far did you fall? Can I start off with some quick constitution saves from everybody, just to see how you're doing on this climb?
Oh boy.
Because I'm Kai, and I love stairs and constitution saves.
Kai is going
Yeah,
to...
I know you love stairs, Kai.
Shut the
That's a 7 for Biff. That's not very good.
That's not great.
I mean, to be fair, you are carrying
That's
a bit of
a
extra weight.
Hey,
17.
6.
how did the wizard
Frankie
get
is
17?
fine. Frankie is
just
at the
wizard gets
lead, and
17.
because we're trying to keep pace with Frankie, we keep getting worn out.
I'll tell you what it is.
Intrigued by puzzle potential.
I'll tell you what it is though. Is because Frankie does daily power walks. because
God,
they
of
read
course.
in a self-help book somewhere that it helps with like your confidence and like being exercised, so they're really good at this now.
Frankie strikes power poses in the mirror in the morning.
Yeah.
I actually need to do rolls for the 2 currently conscious NPCs, which are Tidbit and Lockie, because Biff, you're best friends with you. He's also doing fucking atrociously, and okay, Tidbit, give me your fucking character
Oh,
sheet.
where'd that go? I should put that in here.
Okay, Tidbit's got a -1. That's always...
Go, Tidbit, go.
Oh,
wait, no, plus
go,
1.
Tidbit,
Go,
go.
Tidbit,
Get
go.
it, 20.
Go, Tidbit, go, Tidbit, go.
Rest of the lot. Okay. Now the good news is, I'm not actually gonna make any of you go falling back down the stairs here, because this is not a repeat of the staircase carriage.
This is
There
just
is
for
no
flavour.
like these are stairs that are winding around the outside of the pit that you just fell down. There are walls there. It's just like kind of walking up a rather large spiral staircase. However, everyone except Frankie loathes this. Dear gods, how far did you fall? You're dragging yourself up step by step, panting all the time. Even though you're a bunch of... So, like, you got your bunch of toons just, like, slumping your way up the stairs. Those of you that sweat are sweating. You've got Tidbit just kind of gets a couple steps and just goes flop and, like, done. I'm done. And then you've got Frankie, who has gone jogging all the way up, waited a little bit at the top when you're like, oh yes, where did all everyone else go? And has just come jogging back down and goes like...
So, what do we think? Is this a genuine death trap? Or are we more thinking of a sort of murder mystery dinner party type situation where the death trap isn't actually real, but we're all going to pretend that it is so that we'll have a lovely time?
Seems like death to me.
What? You know what? I bet it is the murder mystery type. So the next time there's a knife in the room, you should stab yourself with it.
Now that is deeply
Just
uncalled
to prove
for.
that we're all safe.
I think you may have some aggression that you need to work out in more healthy outlets.
I don't know.
You know, exercise is a really good way of getting rid of all of these balled up feelings that you can, the result of...
Me. Biff raises her hand. Me.
Yes? Yes?
Jumping jacks.
Jumping jacks are wonderful, yes. That's a fantastic suggestion. Just yes in the corner.
Okay.
Can Miss Foam go up? She just wants to keep climbing the stairs and ignore this conversation.
This phone hasn't...
Can I take a little bit of artistic license here and just go, as everyone's kind of stopped and panting and dealing with Frankie still jogging on the spot while having this conversation, Miss Foam, you kind of just, like, you're in the middle of the pack, people are stopped, you're not stopping, and you kind of just, like, go up on the wall and start walking up on the, like, walking sideways on the wall as you go around people, get behind Frankie, then back on the stairs and up you go.
Yeah, just
sliding off.
yeah, that's it. She's just confused. Like, why are we stopping here? This is okay.
This is not the end point. This is not the beginning point. We need to get to the end point to stop suffering.
Okay, the good news is I will fast forward to the end point wherein your suffering stops and Frankie is still irritatingly chirpy about it all.
Frankie's having a lovely time. She thinks that if you all had a bit more of a positive attitude, you all might also be having as good a time as she is having. It's a choice, guys.
Anyway, what I was saying...
It's a lot of stairs.
It's a lot of stairs. You guys fell off.
There's a lot of Biff to move up the stairs.
Man, we were just looking out for old Biff here. We were just trying to make sure that Biff kept pace with us.
Oh, thanks, buddy.
Anytime, Biff. Anytime. Glad to do it. Biff, not Biff. Tsugi's jacket is just like comically, with every inhale, like sucking in hair and then blowing out all the hair and like wringing it out and then sucking in air. I will mention the rest of him is still freakishly normal. He looks like one of those pretty anime dudes who's panting as his chest is just going nuts. It's kind of disturbing.
He wipes some sweat out like off his forehead and it sparkles.
Oh yeah, totally. While his chest is just becoming like one of those pump air blowers. It's not an air blower. It's like what you use for a fire. One of those
bellows.
Yes, like a pumping bellows. Thank you. Bless you. When I have an idea, I have a specific idea, and then I have to say that idea specifically. All right. Sorry. Let's continue.
Yeah, where are we? Are we like back in the place where we started?
Yeah,
or?
okay. Well, can I just say, I love you guys. I love you so much. I love how it takes like a solid 10 minutes for you guys to walk up a flight of stairs.
Hey, you made us roll. You gave us things to play with. We will continue.
I know.
Please.
That's why I love you.
We could
Okay.
just do a whole game of walking up the stairs if you want.
Yeah. I mean, like in that game that we did with Mark that one time, where we walked down a corridor, stood on some stairs, and walked back.
I mean, I'm not gonna stop you, but I did plan more for this. But yeah, you guys finally finished trekking up the stairs. By this point, like, Tidbit has been crawling up the last flight of steps. Biff, you've noticed that your steps are a little bit heavier than they should be as you're going up, and maybe it's a bit more difficult even once you've kind of accounted for the weight of the human slung over your shoulder, and you look down, and Loki's kind of just grabbed onto one of your pant legs and is letting you drag him up.
Look.
Yeah, that's normal.
Like, he's fine. He gets up, once at the top, he's caught his breath, stands up, dusts himself off, goes like, alright, what are we doing? How are we going? And the thing is, you guys find yourself back in, like, the room where you guys ate dinner. Except there are several holes in the floor where obviously the floor has dropped down. You guys do, even with those terrible, terrible rolls, seem to be the first lot back up here. But if you want extra info, I'm gonna need a perception check from people, please.
Alright.
Also, please no one go jumping down the holes in the floor. If you do, I'm going to
Damn
murder
it.
you.
I forgot that Frankie's got a -2 to perception.
That's a 5 from Foam, 8 from Frankie.
Natural 20
What?
from Biff.
And a 17 from Tsugi. I'm not going to bother with Loki
Floor
and
is
Tidbit,
made
they're
of
too
Swiss
tight.
cheese.
Okay. Foam and Frankie, you two don't really notice anything other than what I've already said. You're back in the room where you began, and there are holes in the floor where it looks like everyone's fucking disappeared. Tsugi, with that 17, you are also kind of catching at the edge of your hearing, like, a little bit of arguing, couple of voices yelling up. You can kind of hear, help! Help! From a distance, and you can manage to work out those are the voices of people kind of yelling from the holes in the floor where they've fallen down. Some of the holes are rather quiet. Whether that's worrying is up to you.
F.
Y'all hear something?
Dead.
The one other thing you notice as you're kind of looking around is where the orator, the big fancy automaton that gave you this whole quest at the beginning, was before. She's kind of moved back now. The lights are off her, and at her feet seems to be something kind of like largish, blackened. Doesn't smell too great, but you don't really want to go having a closer look at it. Biff, it is up to you how you know this. That's a charred and blackened body.
Oh!
That's not great. I don't know how Biff knows. I mean, Biff knows what like violence looks like. That's pretty intense, even for Biff's line of work. But ooh, that's not good.
Yeah, I know. The voice is in the air. They're all crying for help. That doesn't make it our problem, Biff. It's fine. You don't have to do anything.
Well. Hey, Lucky.
Yeah?
Did the boss say anything about, like, people getting hurt at this thing?
Boss didn't really say anything but the letters we got. Let's say maybe a little bit of danger, but we were just meant to be on guard duty. Didn't really say about what other people would be doing other than we're just not meant to let them out. But, gotta say, kind of wanting to get out of here myself, though.
Well, okay, but, like, that guy's definitely not coming out anytime soon. Biff's gonna point.
Holy paper and ink. Well, there's like, nope, we're out. And Lucky is just going to turn around and start trying to rattle the doorknobs of the way out. He can't actually reach because he's too short, but he's pushing out the door and they're like, nope, we're out. We're signed up for this. Cool, danger, cool. Not dealing with that. Bit of death, bit of stabbing. Yeah, I can get behind that, but no, thank you.
What's going on?
Biff is gonna grab the back of Lucky's like jacket and just go, "Boss said no one leaves."
Yeah.
We better be getting paid double for
You're really
this stuff.
gonna enforce that rule at this point? At this point? Come on, Biff. We're friends.
Biff looks at you like that's the dumbest thing they've ever heard you say. You or anyone else.
No, wait, okay, Biff, look at me in the eyes. Look at me in the eyes. The rules never said that people were supposed to get hurt, right? But you just said that nobody was going to get out. However, your boss broke the contract with you by burning that dude. So therefore, you're no longer under any obligation to keep us here. Because we gotta make sure that guy's remains get cremated or something altruistic. And Tsugi's gonna roll persuasion.
You just used a lot of big words.
Tsugi is trying to do what very little they've seen of Lucky interacting with Biff. And they're gonna roll persuasion, but here's the thing: it's a zero.
Do it. Do it with disadvantage because you use big words like obligation and cremated.
Fuck! It's gonna go bad.
Oh, it's a 6.
It's a 6 to start.
Gotta see if it's an at one.
Yep. No, that's not 6.
Biff picks you up by your collar too, and starts walking over toward that body.
Oh no! I don't want it.
Biff, darling, are we sure this is a good idea?
I think this is a good idea.
You shut up! You're predisposed against me.
I consider myself neutral, thank you.
Well, we gotta figure out what's going on.
Does that okay. Well, do we all just like? I guess we're all sort of moving in a little pack over towards the dead body.
Yeah,
just picked up at
Biff
least.
is carrying 3 members of the party right now.
Okay, I mean, yeah. I mean, if you want, you can put Buffin down. I know that Tidbit has finally managed to drag himself to standing after climbing up all those stairs, and is just looking around like,
Are there any free
What
chairs?
next?
Are there chairs still?
yeah, there's probably a couple of chairs that kind of got pushed back at like last moment before the tables fell. So you can probably grab one of those, haul it
I'll
away
stand
from a
one
hole.
of those up, and then just sit Boffin up in one of the chairs, away from the holes
Yeah.
on the side of the room.
Yeah, sounds good. So
Kind of
Buffin,
pat him on the head. There you go.
yeah, Buffin's just slumped there, and like you can hear very slight.
There you go.
He's fine. Definitely still unconscious.
It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, it's fine.
Tidbit kind of comes over and just kind of like slaps at his face for a couple of seconds before going like, pulse. Yeah, he'll be fine.
Don't humans have gosh, what's it called now? Concussions? Should we be checking for one of them, or?
Does anyone know any medicine?
You mean like the drums?
That would be
Miss
percussion, dear.
Miss Foam raises her hand. The bad hand.
Bad hands.
The bad hand.
I think I'm gonna say just Tippet kind of just looks at you, looks back at Boffin, just goes like, plaps him on the face again. I think he'll be fine. He'll be fine.
Well, if you say so.
Slap him.
No, I think he just needs to rest. We don't want to go hurting his head any more than we already have, really. Anyway, what are we up? Why is there a dead body on the ground there?
Oh yeah. Biff turns around and starts walking towards
No,
him.
no.
I think he would have had to put someone down to put Boffin on a chair, so he's probably put Lockie down.
Yeah. Lockie has not gone running for the doors again, but is definitely not happy about it. I'm gonna say Lockie is actually the one that's going and having a look around the rest of the room for other exits, and has indeed found a few.
Fair.
Let's focus on one thing at a time.
Yep.
If we're heading to the bad scene at the front of the room, and we're walking over, can I have Miss Foam do a perception check to check if there's any other, I don't know, tools capable of burning?
Are there any like flamethrower traps like hanging around?
Yeah, go ahead.
That's a good
Cool.
That's
Bad.
a crit fail. Okay.
Wrecked.
You are having a look, and as you're kind of looking around and you're seeing all the various automatons, and like, yeah, okay, it's mostly just this one big speaker lady in the middle of things here, but there's a lot of little things in the walls and maybe hidden behind curtains. Oh gods, there are flamethrowers everywhere. This place is a death trap.
Cool. Miss Foam freezes and says, no. Just sits.
Brilliant.
All right, Biff is gonna pick them up.
You can carry all of the party at this point.
Yep.
We're working on it. We're getting there.
Is Biff gonna have to start making strength checks at some point to carry everybody, or is this just rule of funny?
This is rule of funny.
Whenever the DM asks me to, I will. But
Like,
till then,
If
these are still all small members of the party.
If it gets to the point of it being plot important, of you needing to carry someone out of somewhere, then you'll make strength checks. For just the sake of, keeping the party in one place, no, you're doing just the right thing. I'm not going to make you roll for it.
Okay, so I am going to try and examine this thing. I was just trying to find, because it feels like I should have some
This would be
proper
investigation.
skill for it. But what's investigation? My investigation's +2. Okay, so
Yeah.
Frankie's just gonna saunter on up to the corpse, I guess.
Yeah.
And
Charred
just
and
sort of
horrified.
give it a bit of a rollover.
That's a 21.
Ooh.
Yeah, what
Get
does
it.
Frankie
Okay.
get? Frankie is very professional about this.
Frankly,
think
it's almost as if you're pretty
go
good with dead bodies and shit.
Aha.
Mock that laugh. Okay. Yeah, you're having a good look around, and you don't even need to touch this thing to, kind of get a really good feel of what's going on. You have a look, and while before it was a burnt and charred corpse, you can now tell it was a burnt and charred human corpse. Definitely not a toon, because, you can tell... you can tell when it's a toon, because you generally have, little wisps of smoke still coming off. You can maybe see the outlines, or maybe the shading sometimes just a bit. No, this was human. This was human, going by, the shape of what's left of the ears. There was no points or anything there, and too tall and a little bit too skinny to really be a dwarf. It's, realistically human, maybe half-elf. It was realistically human. And you're kind of getting a bit of a look at some of the clothes that are still on this. You can kind of see buttons that may have been part of a coat. You can see little bits of, ornamentation, things like gold and silver that look like they have them melted and kind of oozed over what was left of the skin. I'm not going to go into massive detail on the skin and stuff, but you will actually say, with that 21, once you've had a really good kind of look at this, you notice that, there's this one bit of clothing that doesn't seem to have gotten as damaged as the rest, and you give it a poke. And, out falls this pin that is silver and has a little bird, like a bird ornamentation on the top of it.
Oh, I picked that up. I examine that. Do I roll anything else to see if I recognize anything about it, or?
You'd have to roll nature.
Oh, okay. No, that's fair. That's also plus
Biff
2.
Can Biff kind of like poke at the corpse with her foot? And
it's a bird.
It's a bird.
Yeah.
Is there like anything that she like? Is this like someone's like? Are there like any gangs that this is their typical style of like dealing with, like people that they don't want to have around anymore? Is there like anything like that? Can I do a roll for that?
Yeah, go ahead and do a roll. I will say, off the top of your head, you can't remember any gangs that do dealings like this.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a history roll.
Yeah, sounds good.
So that uses her intelligence. 5.
5.
What a start. Yeah, with a 5, you have no idea. You got no idea what's going on. You just know this is a body, and it's not fun.
Good.
With a 21, can I see whether this is like you suggested with Miss Foam, if this is like a flamethrower situation, if this has come from anywhere, or whether this was magically induced or anything like that? Like,
ooh, yeah, you'd give me perception. I will give you one more thing for that 21, and like it's like as you've had a good look now, this body doesn't look fresh.
4.
Yeah, okay, you have no
Perception's dreadful.
You have no idea where any flamethrowers could or might be.
Okay, no, fair enough. So
I didn't know it was the fire that killed him.
What? Frankie, do you want to answer that?
I'm sorry, I'm genuinely just trying to work out, like, how would I know that?
Because it's a burnt and charred body, my friend.
Yes, but there's also, theoretically, and presumably Frankie is saying this out loud, sometimes people do set bodies on fire to try and cover up the rest of the evidence, or to put the corpse
player
beyond...
behind the stupid character, like, hee-hee-hoo.
or to put the corpse beyond other uses, and situations like that, so...
Yeah. The other thing is, like, you have no idea. You just know that the burning was not recent.
Okay, no, fair enough.
You mean we were all walking around and this guy was here?
That is a good... We would have noticed it. Presumably...
It is, like, literally center stage.
It's been put here for us to find, perhaps?
I didn't put it here.
Well, no, not you, darling, but...
Lucky!
Like, from a distance, from much further a distance that you would have thought, I was like, yeah, over here, found a way out, I think.
Do we put a burned corpse in?
Didn't have nothing to do with no corpses here, not on this job.
Huh.
I heard that he has a way out, so maybe we should follow the little dude out.
Yes. Do you know what? I think that's the first good idea you've had since we met.
Bro.
Thank you.
Man, Doug must have missed this while cleaning.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what it was, Biff.
Well, we set the whole place up.
Yeah, I bet you Doug
we was all here before
this burned body.
Before this all even started, so... And I didn't put it here, and Lockie didn't put it here, so Doug must have missed it.
We were downstairs for a while, but I bet you it was the guy who was supposed to clean things up, and he just forgot this stuff. I bet you anything.
Well, everyone else is downstairs. So how could they have put it there?
Biff is asking the difficult questions.
Well, maybe there was someone who arranged this whole thing who didn't go downstairs.
Biff looks around for anybody.
It's
Okay, that's a little high level for you. Following Lucky and put me down. Following Lucky and put me down.
Maybe don't put him down. Maybe just carry him.
No, come on!
Biff looks from
Tsugi
one
has
to the
lost
other.
feet privileges.
Before we go over to the exit, Frankie is going to take the pin over to Ms. Foam, who presumably, as a druid, has a much higher bonus to nature than Frankie does, and show it to her and ask if... I don't suppose you recognise any of the markings on this? I found it on that body over there.
Miss Foam was looking around worried because everywhere's trapped. There's a flamethrower at
Are you
every
okay,
corner. We will die. Oh, no. Yes, I feel like we're going to die soon if we remain in this room. But I will look at this pin.
Well, we're all
Thank
going to
you.
die sometime.
You made the wrong choice. She does not have any modifiers.
Well,
that's still a
14's higher than
14.
a 6.
14. A 14 is, definitely better than
Do
the
any
6.
of us have positive wisdom modifiers?
Nature is int, and Miss Foam
Oh.
just has straight int.
Oh,
Okay.
nature is
Whew.
in. That's
Yeah.
weird.
The other one is survival, which is wisdom.
It
Yeah,
feels
but-
like that should be the other way round.
Nature is knowing what a plant is called, like
Yeah,
survival
whereas-
is
fair
knowing
enough,
how
fair
to
enough.
use it.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like, survival is this going to be poisonous if I eat it?
Yeah. You don't necessarily know the name of it or all of its, it's related to, it's in this genus and it's that.
No, fair
But,
enough,
yeah.
fair enough.
In this case, though, a 14, definitely higher than a 6. Definitely just high enough that you think you recognise this bird. It definitely does seem familiar. You're kind of squinting at it and you're turning the pin this way and that. And eventually it comes to you. This is a rook. Not
Okay.
really not really massively a foresty kind of bird, so that's why it didn't come to you at first. But yeah, it's a rook.
She relays that, and she's gonna wonder if there's any. This is a stab in the dark since history is kind of spotty for her. Is there any like groups related to rooks?
Roll me history.
Yeah. That's another straight D20.
Yeah.
That's a 5.
You cannot.
Yeah.
Alright, with a 5, it's not as horrendously low as it could be. So I will say, you haven't heard of any groups associated with rooks. Certainly not ones that are gonna be fancy enough to have silver pins. But you swear you have heard the word rook recently.
All right.
Huh.
Tsugi's also going to roll history because this is something that is involved with their well-being in addition to everyone else's. Blah, blah, blah. So they're going to try and see if they remember.
5!
No, shit.
5.
No,
Hand gang getting 5s out here.
hell yeah. What are these rolls this game? Meanwhile, you've got Lockie in the back and you're like, you lot coming or what?
Yes, fine, hold your horses.
Okay. You guys can follow Lockie's...
Really quick. The sad thing for Tsugi, as far as Biff making the decision to continue to hold them, is that Biff has looked between Tsugi and Frankie and has decided that Frankie has a higher rank.
Very good. This is everything I've ever wanted. I'm
Yes!
so happy.
Tsugi was on a job with him with her as a grunt before, so
I am delighted. I am awe-inspired. I
in
am
case you're
so
curious
happy.
about why
Tsugi
she's
is
making
now
the
giving Biff the
decision.
silent treatment.
So
Excellent.
gross! Frankie hasn't noticed. Frankie automatically assumes that everybody is on more or less equal footing with them, except maybe slightly below. In the nicest possible way.
Oh yes, no, that's
Thank you.
absolutely. Biff just has a way of deciding these things.
Oh,
good.
she's so good. I love her.
Alright.
So that's. But I do continue to carry Tsugi as we move forward.
Tsugi has lost feet privileges.
Okay, you guys continue forward and you can kind of edge around the stage because it turns out it didn't actually take up the whole width of the room. And if you go behind a couple of curtains, you find like 2 doorways leading left and right and 2 staircases, one on the left-hand side and one on the right-hand side. And each of them has another one of those elemental symbols that you've already encountered above each doorway/staircase. I will say before you guys kind of went, like when you guys went in, Tibbet Weird kind of did follow you guys, see this, turns around and looks back past the curtains and goes like, you guys, I think I'm going to be staying here with with the doctor because I don't want him to wake up and go falling down one of the holes. Are you guys okay if I stay here? Will you be all right? You guys are coming back, right? If you find an exit, please come tell me.
Don't worry, darling. We would just leave
carry him
you.
if you want.
Well, the thing is, if it's not an exit and it's something that's going to wind us up like that, gestures towards the dead body, I think I might leave you to it. But if it is an exit, I definitely want to come along.
Oh, we did just see the results of exposing a being primarily made of meat to an extreme amount of one particular element. And if these symbols are anything to go by, then I think we will be encountering much more of particular elements, and I don't think it would be a good idea to expose that man to them, conscious or unconscious.
Biff does the thing where she nods as if she understands what you're talking about.
Right, that's good enough for Frankie. Frankie will take that.
One thing. I literally cannot say this in character because Tsugi doesn't care. However, having a party that stays behind can also help the people who are in the pits. So, like, if somebody could recommend to Dr. Weird offering suggestion to the people in the pits, that would be amazing.
Oh,
but
that's
I
actually
literally
very
cannot
good.
do it because Tsugi doesn't care.
Would Ms. Foam think of that?
No.
Okay, no.
Here's the one thing though. Tsugi did verbally mention that there were people crying out at the very beginning of the scene with Biff when they heard it. So it is in the miasma. So theoretically Frankie could know. Frankie, please,
No,
as the player.
As
the player, I don't want to leave him behind, but as the character, I don't care. So now I'm trapped in a hell of my own creation.
You did this to yourself, Snail.
No, that's fair enough.
I did!
Though, Snail, I am going to say, for doing this, for sticking to being in character, even if you want to go help people, please have an inspiration point.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm
very sad.
And you may now use this inspiration point at any point, so long as it is perfectly in character, which severely limits the situations in which you can use the inspiration point.
Oh yeah, totally.
But no, that's true. Frankie will say something along those lines to Dr. Weird when Frankie's already of the opinion that Dr. Weird should stay behind to look after their friend anyway. Possibly if he comes around to stop him wandering off into a pit, but also if you're hanging around bored and wanting to distract yourself from the lingering smell of charred human flesh, then perhaps you could communicate with some of the other people down in the pits, let them know that at least one party has made it out and is looking for an exit.
What? Oh,
Yes, there were other people.
Yeah. No, you're right. We I don't have any spell slots left.
No, you don't need any.
I can yell. I will keep an eye on Dr. Buff, and I will see if there's anything we can do to help.
There's no need for any spell slots or anything like that. But in fact, trying to get anybody out of the pits by any other means than simply climbing the stairs would probably lead to terrible things happening. So just being there providing moral support and all of that sort of thing.
Yeah, good. No, good point. Yeah, I'll see what I can do. And yeah, if there's a way out, if there is an exit, we've got to get everyone out of here because I don't think that the dinner was really worth all this.
Thank you so much, darling. So where shall we go? Which direction shall we choose? Do we flip a coin?
I will say, like, as you guys, as mentioned before, there are symbols carved just above each of the different ways you could go. The 2 ground floor symbols are triangles pointing down. One of them has a horizontal line going through. You remember those as the water and earth symbols. And the 2 staircases have 2 triangles pointing up above each one of them. One of them has the line going through, and you remember those as fire and air, respectively.
Just because I wanted to say this joke, Frankie points at the water symbol, goes, "Oh, wonderful! I'm an Aquarius, let's go that way."
Oh my god.
I see.
I hate you.
Okay.
The joke is that an Aquarius isn't even a water symbol. I've checked this. I think it's air or something.
I'm so happy that you made the joke and then did research on the joke. I love you so much, Jay.
Fucking terrible.
Frankie doesn't know this.
I think we're causing the DM to walk out.
What's her int modifier? Hang on. Biff is too stupid to know.
Here's the thing. Tsugi just shrugs and go, "Yeah, let's go water."
Yep.
Yeah,
Anybody going to... Do we have any disputes? Because I have just picked this completely at random. So.
That's alright.
Ground floor means more likely to be for there to be a door out, so yeah, alright, cool, water it is. And you guys head down that corridor, and while the room that you were already in was decorated with beautiful blues and golds and everything, the corridor that you go down are even more blues and greens and gold, and it very much... And, like, there is a very slight, there's a very slight tint to the chandeliers above your heads where the lights are all lit up, so that even the light coming down from them as the fire flickers is tinted blue and leaves little, I can't words today. I want to do beautiful words. I cannot do beautiful words, and this is deeply irritating. But as the fire flickers, it makes the light kind of also flicker about, and it gives even more of the feeling that y'all are underwater.
This place may be a death trap, but at least it is a tastefully decorated death trap.
Indeed.
There are a couple of doors on either side of the corridor that you are going down. There are also several huge, either because they were drawn huge or were drawn again afterwards to turn them huge, absolutely gorgeous pieces of art and concept design for what you guys can probably recognize a couple of them for automatons that you've already seen.
Ooh.
Like the orator or the lady playing the piano or the peacocks that were in the main hall, and you guys can recognize concept art for them, basically.
Is the arrow guy there?
Yes, yeah, you guys can also see the archer, some concept art for the archer.
Yeah.
Different styles of bow and arrow that he could have been using, different ways that the target could have been designed. There's not much in terms of how any of the mechanics behind any of these things work. It is very much down to how the visuals, how it will look. And it is very, very pretty. So, what do you guys want to do? Is there anything you want to look at? Do you just want to
You said there's some doors?
Yeah.
There are...
Can I break one of them down?
You don't want to just try and see if they're open first. You just want to kick it.
Yeah.
Okay. There are 2 on your left, 1 on your right, and 1 at the end of the hall. Which one do you want to go through?
First left.
First left. All right. Congrats. Could I get a strength roll from you, please?
You can. Let me just make sure. Yeah. 22.
Woof.
With this. Now, please tell me how you're going about kicking this down. Are you actually kicking it? Are you kind of shoving it in with your hands? Are you using a single finger and it turns into splinters? Do tell.
I
Well, we still got Tsugi in one hand, so I think with the other shoulder, she will just kind of shoulder the door, like just. I think she goes to like shoulder it open, and just ends up kind of walking through it.
Yeah, pretty much.
The door can open or try to stay closed. It is up to the door.
I don't think the
If
door
it's
even
tried to stay closed, it is like Hannibal busting through, like
Good.
I don't
like
think...
walking through a sheet of paper.
Yeah.
Like
I don't think the door even gets the chance to try and open because you didn't go anywhere near the handle. Yeah, as you say,
No.
just sheet of paper. You've just walked through it and now there is a Biff-shaped hole in the door. And also probably part of the door frame. And you have just walked into a very beautiful and very astronomy-themed bedroom. It is empty.
Ooh.
There's no one in there.
Frankie is going to sort of squeak in alarm and turn up. It's like, you could have been trapped. Biff, you could have been hurt. You can't just go walking through doors like that.
Miss Phone
Well,
goes through
I just
Biff's
did.
legs.
It just slides on in there.
Amazing.
Tsuki's gonna roll perception.
Please do. That's a 10. Okay.
Oh, come on! What is
She
this?
still has you by the collar, by the way, of the shirt, like you're a kitten.
Yeah, no. I was gonna say, as Tsugi is looking around, they look like a kitten who's being held up by the scruff of their neck, including the fact that their eyes are really squinted and they look very displeased.
Fucking perfect.
Inky angry.
Can I also do a perception check in this room?
Please do.
Yeah!
That 20, baby!
Yes.
All right. With that 10, Tsugi, you have a look around, and as I said before, it's just astronomy themed. There's like star charts pinned up on the wall. All the paint is very, very deep blue with little gold speckles all over it. The bed itself is the same deep blue sheets with gold speckles all over it. Full poster, by the way. Very fancy.
This is just the bedroom that Kai wishes that they had.
Yeah, pretty much. Only difference is mine would be silver rather than gold, but yeah.
Sorry, continue.
You guys, so like you're looking around and this place just looks very luxurious, very ornate. You can also kind of tell there's a fair bit of dust in this place. So, like you kind of like give it a bit of a and then as dust kind of gets up your nose.
That's a very good sneeze. That's a very good pretend sneeze.
Thanks, I guess.
And can I get an inspiration point for how good that sneeze was?
No, don't let the DM have inspiration points ever.
They don't need inspiration points.
I can and will misuse them. However, with that nat 20 plus 2, Miss Foam, yeah, you get a look around and you see, yeah, there are star charts on the wall, and you can kind of like reach up and flip through them a little bit, and they are mapping the stars throughout different seasons, showing different constellations and what section of the sky that they're normally in for this time of year in this section of the world. So like you can actually go through on a calendar and trace the exact day to day and what constellations are up in the sky. And I'm not going to name any because this is an Earth, so we're actually going to have different fucking constellations in Inkwell than we do in Earth, and I don't know what any of them are yet other than there's some various fucking animals, and I will figure out what they are later.
We'll work it out.
We got like the crumpled paper, you know, the spilled ink bottle,
The hit over the head.
The splat, the anvil.
the mallet and splat is a good one.
So there's all that sort of thing. Oh no, Liz, where did it cut out? What have you missed?
Oh no.
As soon as you tried to explain the 10 perception, everything just went silent. It just
Okay.
I came back for a slight bit when you mentioned sneezing, and then I got kicked out again. So
Okay,
yeah, sorry.
That's all right. What I said before to Tsugi for the 10 was it's a very ornate room. Everything is like space/astronomy themed, very fancy, rather dusty, hence the sneeze. For your 20, you can actually go and look at some of the various star charts that are planned up everywhere. You can have a look through different seasons and dates to see what constellation's going to be in the sky for this area. You notice like an astrolab and some cool little spinny wheels and everything that also help track the position of various planets.
Nice.
And like overall, like I will say, the astrolab is very shiny, and there are a couple of nice writing utensils out on a desk where it looks like there was a map that was partway through being done, and then just got put down and walked away from. I think that about covers it for 22, unless there were any particular things you wanted to have a closer look at.
Biff has started spinning one of the little.
It
anything.
makes little creaky noises as you spin it because it's rather old and unoiled, but it does spin.
Frankie is still attempting to explain to you why you shouldn't just walk through random doors in death trap museums.
Biff definitely thinks that conversation has ended.
Yeah.
What's it, Biff? Biff, you found an exit? Is there another door in here? Any windows we can get out even? Or
That was my next question.
there are.
Are there windows?
Yes, there are windows, and in fact, because I completely missed it before for some fucking reason, there's also a telescope looking out one of those windows.
Ooh.
What's out the window?
Grass you can see over, like, down the hill and over the grounds of where this museum takes place. In the distance, you can just about see the fence that surrounds the museum.
I really want to look through that telescope.
Who's stopping you?
Do it.
Yeah.
What would I need to roll? I've forgotten.
I
I can just look through it, right?
You're looking?
Yeah, give me investigation as you're having kind of a good look at the telescope, I think. But I will give you something no matter what.
That's a 5.
Cool.
I poke myself in the eye with it.
I think so, yeah. I think
You
Frankie
come
is...
away and your eye has like a black ring around it.
Frankie does not know this.
It's just the dust. It's just the dust. I think it's like you're having a look through and you're wondering why it looks so dark because yes, you're looking out onto a definitely night sky, but you should be able to see some stars or something. Surely there's going to be something here. So you kind of twiddle with the knobs a little bit. You move it up and down, and like I will say, from that 5, you manage to get a decent hang of how the telescope moves. However, no matter how much you look, all you can see is black.
Is the lens cap still on?
Yes.
Incredible.
I noticed this. Frankie does not. She just shrugs and says, "It must be broken," and moves on.
Miss Foam removes the foam cap. Frankie. And she just waves the little cap.
Oh yes, thank you. I'm not too used to looking up. I'm going to have a look through.
And you look
What else
through, and after you kind of, like, again, because you fiddled around with it, it's a little bit out of focus now. But once you actually do manage to get it more or less in focus, you move it out a little bit, you actually manage to get a beautiful sight of one of the various planets in the solar system.
Ooh. Do I know which one?
Not with a 5.
Ooh.
Well, this would probably be important, but I don't know enough about stars to make any kind of comment about it. Does anybody else want to have a go?
At looking? I feel like Miss Foam will have a look, but like half the telescope goes into her head to a point where that shouldn't work because it's longer than what's going on. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry
What was
about
the
it.
roll? Investigation?
Yep, please.
Okay. Double checking if I have anything. No. Still a good 20.
A 14 is
Alright.
better than a 5. Again, you're doing a fair bit better than Frankie with these rolls.
She's not good at space, okay?
I will say, especially, another reason for that 14 is because you've just had a really good look at those various star charts. And you managed to recognize a couple of constellations even. You notice, like, yes, there's the anvil. Over there's, like, the mallet.
I love that we've stuck with this now.
Yeah, no, this is what we're fucking
Yes.
doing. This is what Toons have decided constellations are.
They're all just cosmic jokes.
There's a bunch of stars that are like all huddled together, and that's the bunch of bananas.
Yeah,
God.
exactly. Someone passed this on to, like, Owl and Uni because now this is official Toon lore.
We've made this canon.
This is what happens when you let us have whole ongoing things we create.
Exactly.
We make stuff up and it has to be your problem now.
So yeah, because you had a look at the star charts, you can recognize a couple of what's going on there, and you can even kind of take a good guess at the planet you're probably looking at, because like it's far enough away that you can't see it other than like, yes, this is a much brighter dot than what the stars would be, therefore it's probably closer, therefore it's probably a planet, but with a 14 you can't figure out which one it is.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, she's like lists off the constellations as she looks at it, and then just closes it. I don't know what planet that is. Oh well. And she goes back to the books. What she was looking for in the books was like who owned them. She wants to understand what room this belonged to, and if they have any like personal notes. She wants to do that, which I guess would be investigation.
Yeah, that would also be investigation.
Property of evil McBad guy.
Yeah.
7.
This diary belongs to
J. Rook. That's all you're getting. All you can find is like on a couple of the like star charts that have obviously been made here, going from what you saw on the desk earlier. All you can tell is their sign in the very bottom corner with a small and kind of scribbled J. Rook.
Rook in the book.
It's funny because it rhymes.
Yeah.
very insightful.
Ha.
Very insightful. Biff. Miss Fern will take the book. That's now just going in her face.
Yep, cool. Perfect. Love it.
In her.
In her.
No, in her. Yeah.
Okay, who wants to do what next?
I mean, is there anything else we could sort of do in this room, or?
Okay, there is. Tsugi is going to. Tsugi's gonna say, "Hey, Biff, over next to that telescope thing. There's something I really think that you should see. You gotta look close though. I want to make sure that we get out of here, but don't get out of here. So close to the telescope.
What are you doing?
I'm not. For once, I'm not doing anything pranks, okay? But you won't let her put me down."
Okay. Biff walks over.
So while Biff is near the telescope, Tsugi is going to look through the telescope, and they are going to try and determine what this planet is. Because if it's focused on a single planet, obviously that relates to what's going on. Would this be insight? Would this be investigation?
You could make an argument for a bunch of different things, like including nature. So presumably whatever you've got the highest stat in.
What do you want to argue here?
I would kind of argue insight specifically. I know that might be a bit of a reach, but specifically because we're like looking through this room and he's sort of trying to figure out like what is the person who lived in this room trying to tell us.
Yeah, so like from context and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, and like
what was?
Can I make that argument, or is that too much?
What was
of a
their
reach?
interest in this planet?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
What are their like objectives, or that's kind of an insight-y type.
Yeah, I would say, insight from what you've learnt from looking around this room and what other people have told you as they looked around this room. Insight would work, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
What are your intentions?
What did you get?
What is wrong with Tsugi?
You were getting some stinkers today.
This person sure liked space.
Bro.
Biff has seen everyone else look into this telescope. She's going to look into the telescope.
Biff, if you get a nat 20, I have to shake your
Please.
hand. And I know you're fictional, but I'm going to have to shake your hands.
Also, I like to think we all have matching, like,
Yes!
circles.
We
on
do,
our eyes.
we all do.
Let me take a quick peek at what I have here. History's a -2, insight's a 0. Perception is a 0.
Oh, it's
yeah. Probably like a perception type thing.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, go perception, just having a look through. Alright,
14.
a 14.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't really get any more than the stuff that I told to Liz earlier. So it's same sort of thing as Miss Foam. You manage to, like, as you move the telescope about, you can spot a couple of different constellations that you more or less remember. Probably because, like, they're your like a couple of favorite constellations. But nothing that really catches your eye other than some pretty stars.
Cool.
Fair enough.
I mostly did it so that we could all have matching black circles on ours.
Thank you. Aesthetic is important.
All right.
How can we
I'm
see
done with
that
this
on?
room. Biff's done with this room. So
How can we see that on? How can we see that on Ms. Foam's face?
I was thinking about that. It's either A, you don't, or B, it's on her actual eyeball, which is disturbing.
Oh,
I
that
kinda
second
really
one.
I kind of
Oh,
really like
eyeball.
that.
Perfect.
No, fair enough. If Biff is going to leave the room and is starting to make a beeline for the next door, then Frankie is going to try and sort of nip in front of them and try the door, like, gently first.
Okay. Which
Yeah,
door
Biff
are
is
you?
just walking toward the door across the hall on the right.
Yeah.
Okay, the one
next
across
one.
on the right. Yeah. Okay. Do you
Shoulder
get the first? Give me
ready.
Dex.
Oh gosh.
Frankie, give me Dex.
Oh dear.
This can end badly.
This could end
Didn't
extremely-
check for traps.
An unstoppable force.
Meets a very movable
that's a
object.
3!
That's a 2!
Oh my god. Do you want me to roll, Kai?
No,
get stepped
no.
on.
I want you to just tell me what happens, Biff, with a 3.
God, that is really funny if Frankie gets stepped on. In a
just
teeny way.
what?
It doesn't hurt,
Pancakes.
but it does. I think that's really funny, actually. So yeah, that's exactly what happens, and you come up like a little accordion.
I love how everything goes back to one. Like, we don't have any, like,
Yeah,
that's supposed to happen, but...
Biff is worn.
Therefore, everyone must go by Biff's rules.
yeah, pretty much. Just
Listen, if it's a Biff initiated
is
joke,
Skit.
I think that it can be worn.
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. No, Frankie.
So
is
you get a little bit of that.
Frankie just sort of compresses like an accordion and just sort of like,
Help! I'm being compressed.
help, I'm being compressed.
Okay, and Biff is gonna walk through the next door.
Okay, I am gonna
Not
need
just
another.
the doorway, just through the door.
Okay, give me another strength check, please.
You got it. 13.
Okay, this door seems to be a little bit thicker than the other one. You don't quite rebound, and the door still does splinter. But you do notice that like this door seems to have been a bit more heavily reinforced than last. So you kind of crash into it, and it bounce off a little bit. It's broken. You kind of can shove your hand through, knock the rest of the door down, and walk through.
This door saw what happened to the other one and tried to brace itself.
I think Biff, once she gets kind of her shoulder and arm through, reaches around and uses the doorknob from the other side.
Perfect. Yes. Okay.
And opens it like that.
Okay, you enter this room, and your immediate, the first thing you notice is that everything is kind of green and gold, and there seems to be a lot of lion motifs. Again, you're gonna have to
sick.
roll to find more than that.
I'm gonna
Perception
do
again?
like a perception check, I think.
That's a 10, not bad.
I'm gonna, Frankie's gonna sort of concertina in after you.
Sadly.
No!
7 from Ms. Foam.
Big sound of
Is it green and
accordions.
gold?
Yeah.
Even
He's -2.
God, thank you, Frankie, for being the only one to actually roll.
I'm still a concertina, by the way. Frankie as a Frankenelli. Frankie is not. They're not terribly used to this, so they don't know quite what the joke is to get themselves unconcertinaed.
Help.
Okay, Ms. Foam and Tsugi, with that 7 and that 6, yeah, your immediate impression is green, gold, and a lot of lion motifs. Again, it's that feeling of like looking around and, yep, it's a bedroom. Again, very fancy, very ornate, kind of filled with dust again. Biff, with that 10,
Yeah.
you kind of get a little bit of more of a notice, and like, yeah, okay, there are parts of it that are kind of dusty, but parts of it that are less dusty, and the whole room is very much a mess. But then you've got like, the bed's a mess, the desk is a mess, that weird lion statue in the corner, it's got like clothes draped over it, it's a mess. The windows are all kind of grubby and the curtains are hanging askew. With that 17, however, Frankie, you notice a little bit more in that some of this mess looks a lot newer than the other sorts of mess. Because while everywhere is dusty, you look at the bed and all the rumpled sheets and everything, and it's got like this thin coating of dust over it. And then you look at the desk, and like parts of the desk are still kind of dusty, other parts are messy, like they've got papers scattered all over it, but the dust isn't on top of the paper, it's like underneath or to the side where it's kind of been mushed about. So there is that little bit of an inconsistency there. I will also say, while you're investigating the desk, you discover something like a nice big piece of paper plopped on the top that seems kind of interesting because it's got a symbol on it that you recognize from before.
Ooh.
When Tidbit Weird was copying some stuff off the wall. Give me just a moment to actually get to the thing.
Which channel are you putting it in again?
I'm just going to put it in the game zone.
Okay, cool.
I just need a second because
Game
it's
zone,
buried
game zone.
in 20 billion files.
If I may, while you're
Alright.
looking, Biff is going to go over to that lion statue and kind of look at it. How big is it?
On Biff, it probably comes up to around your waist. So it's pretty big.
Ooh.
Alright, so this, like, the piece of paper that you find with these symbols on, it's got, like, at the top are two circles. Both of them have a vertical line going through their center. The one on the left has, like, half a horizontal line going from the center point to one side, to the right side. Under that is the Virgo symbol, then there's the colon, and then at the very bottom there is that speedy triangle mentioned
speedy triangle.
previously.
Meow.
Yum. Oh, this is extremely interesting. Oh, Biff, darling, could you give me a hand? I'm not sure, I don't enjoy being this shape. Would you mind?
Oh, sure. Biff puts down the lion statue from where they were playing with it, as if it were like an action figure, and Tsugi was the other action figure.
I love that. I really love that. You're gonna have to give me a strength check if you want to pick it up.
Oh, okay. Be right there, Frankie. Ooh, that's a 7.
This thing
Not
is
great.
way heavier than it looks. Like,
Dang,
there's
okay.
got to be something metal in there.
Dang. All right, well,
Hint,
I stopped
hint.
trying for now. I think at this point I'm going to put Tsugi down
Yeah.
Tsugi has
Finally!
regained privileges.
and go over and get Frankie and kind of shake her out like a carpet, like a towel, you know, like like one big snap back into regular shape.
Oh, goodness. Thank you
Kinda
very
pat
much,
her head a
dear.
little bit.
Oh, I don't enjoy it. Please, if you could try to avoid treading on me in the future, I would be extremely grateful. Would that be okay?
You got it, boss.
Thank you. Okay, everybody, if you could all be extremely careful where you step, try not to disturb the dust too much. There is, that's our indicator of what may actually be useful in this room. Tsugi, I'm looking at you. Please don't make too much of a mess, darling. Thank you.
Only thing useful in this
Alright.
only thing useful in this room is the windows. Can we find one that's unlocked and get the heck out of here?
Well, if you are perfectly welcome to try.
Yeah, Lockie is kind of like up on like the windowsill, like shoved some of the curtains out of the way, kneeling on the windowsill and rattling at the window trying to get it open.
Lucky,
Biff
What?
knows he's not going to be able
well-
to do it. Oh, sorry. Go
Miss
ahead.
Fun?
I'm sorry about that.
Miss Foam has pulled out a brick and is handed it to Lucky.
Thanks, kid. Let's do a fucking strength check from Lockie, I fucking guess.
Ms. Foam, the enabler.
There you go.
That's a -1, okay. With that wonderful 4,
It bounces.
just kind of
doesn't
starts chipping, like holding the brick in his hand, holding on to like the window lock with the other hand, just kind of chipping away at it. And like the window, like not even a scratch on the pane.
I'm very, very sad that he did not attempt to throw the brick at the window. It bounces off the window and smacks him in the face.
Well, no, he didn't get a 1.
Okay. Fair.
Thank you, Miss Foe. Nonetheless, like you've gone up in his books.
Go.
No, go ahead. I've been talking tons. You go ahead.
Miss Foam will ask, does anyone have a method of astral projection and contacting the doctor that we have left behind? Because I feel like he would be pleased to know that there are several possible exits, but albeit the 4 that it includes out of this room. I'm sure not many people are keen to stay in this place, and it doesn't seem like a great place to begin with.
No, unfortunately not. I think that's a little beyond my abilities at this moment. No,
Okay.
I didn't prepare any when I was coming into this situation. I thought we were just going to have a nice dinner party. I didn't prepare many long-range communication spells or anything like that, and besides, it might be a little bit beyond my level at this moment. What else do we? What were the other things that were less dust covered apart from that piece of paper? Was there anything else of interest?
It was like the mess on the desk, a couple of books on the bookshelf, like basically a couple of bits on the carpet where it looks like people have been walking, but also you don't know if that was maybe you guys.
Yeah.
Biff did go in first
Yeah.
Yes.
and walked right over to that lion
Yeah.
and then tried to move it.
Can Frankie check which books have been used most often, like the ones that have been referred to on the bookshelf?
Yes, you can.
ones are
I don't have an exact list of them. But yeah, you're having a look through, and some of them look more like history books than anything. You notice one rather large and bulky one that looks like it's been sitting there for a long while, considering how dusty it is, and it's the incomplete history of the Rooks. There are, like, the history books and the family book, they look pretty old. There are a couple of books that don't have titles as such, just a couple of symbols on the side. They look used. There's another one that is called Magnum Opus that looks like it's been used recently, and there is a symbol dictionary that looks like it's been pulled out recently.
Ooh, I'd definitely take the symbol dictionary one.
Okay. With that, do you want to examine it now or later?
Yeah, why not now?
Okay.
I'm sorry if anybody else has got a thing they want to do. Sorry.
No. Okay.
I'm good.
What do you want to look up in the symbol dictionary first? Are you just flicking through? or-
I'm going to check specifically to see if any of the symbols on the piece of paper are there. Specifically the speedy triangle, because that's the one that we've seen before.
That one, it doesn't take you very long to find, mostly because, like, the first set of symbols, like, the dictionary, the dictionary comes in 2 halves. It's got half which is, like, words to symbols, and the other half is symbols categorized by generalized shape into words. And you skim through the triangle section, and you recognize a lot of them, and you from just other places, and then you find the speedy triangle, and it is labeled Aqua Fortis.
Okay. I know that's water something. Strong water.
I mean, basically.
Fortified water.
Strength.
Liquid water.
Shut up.
Concentrated water.
It's
Water
sparkling
from
water.
concentrate.
Just add water.
Rehydrated water.
Terrible, the lot of you.
Instant water. Just add water.
Powdered water.
Terrible.
Oh, we gotta write some of these down for Glorp.
It's fine, they're all recorded.
Yeah, but it's the thing is, if you don't put them in the item suggestion box, they're not getting in, and I love them. Anyway.
Yeah, Frankie is going to sort of wave that in triumph. Also, the other one you said was an incomplete history of the Rooks. I'm guessing that's a family tree situation?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
It starts off with a nice big fold out of the family tree, kind of petering off to nothing at the end.
How many of them begin with J?
Only one that you can see, Jemima.
Ooh, interesting.
Okay.
Are they still are they like, a recent thing, or are they far up the tree?
Most of, I was gonna say, the most recent one that you can see is Elias Rook.
Don't trust like that. Don't trust like that.
From
Don't trust
100,
like that.
it's from 150 years ago.
Okay.
Jemima looks.
I still don't trust like that.
Yeah, same. Don't worry.
Jemima is closer to like 180 years ago, so a little bit older.
Yeah, cool. These both seem extremely interesting. Frankie is going to take the both of them. This is not stealing. She's borrowing. She will definitely put these back. Definitely, if she remembers.
Okay. How's everyone else doing?
Biff has gone back to look at that lion. Now she's determined to move it.
Cool. Give me another strength check then. That's a dirty 20. All right. Thank you for this, because I think you've actually also just given me the perfect out for this episode.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
As you do manage to lift this thing up, and wow, it is heavy. And like you kind of go like, oh yeah, it's a statue. It's made from that shiny. It's the stuff that's meant to be kind of coppery gold, but it doesn't stay gold. If it gets dirty or anything, it starts going kind of green, so it's this weird green line. And what is it? It's bronze. It's bronze. Wait, and you kind of lift it up, and no wonder it's so heavy. But you thought these bronze statues are meant to be hollow, and you lift it up, and you can kind of hear, as you are moving it about, the legs shifting a little bit, and a couple of the plates along the back and towards the head, and the head shifts a tiny bit too, and you can hear the clunk, clunk, clunk of metal moving, much like the sounds of the automatons that you have faced before. And you get a couple of seconds to realise this before, at the base of your hearing, right next to your ear as you have lifted this up, you can hear a deep growl. And I think we'll end things there.
You woke it up, Biff.
Kai,
Kai, are we ending now? Kai.
I mean, if people want to keep
It's been
going,
like an hour. I could keep going, but like
I can keep going as well. But
yeah,
yeah.
I'm mostly ending here because I know Jay.
I'm sleepy.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yes.
Okay.
Jay is still recovering from vaccination and cannot.
Full of the vaccine
It's
juice.
important.
Yeah, which is
Listen,
otherwise.
vaccine juice really takes it out of you. I am a-okay with ending it there, and next time we'll come back strong with the fight.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I just don't want you guys
The
to.
last thing Biff does before we end is just hold the lion, look at it, and go, "Good kitty,"
Yes.
and then we close out the
I love
fade to black.
Yeah, camera cuts to black, credits roll. No, thank you guys for being okay with having a short episode. I just
Yeah.
I don't want anyone getting worn out, and also I know how long combat can drag on for at times.
Can.
Yeah.
Gotta start with it. Then we'll see how many shenanigans we can
We're
fit in after.
slowly making
Exactly.
progress. We did like 2 or 3 we did 2 rooms and a hallway.
Yeah.
That's a lot for us.
Oh no, consider you got
Speedy.
three rooms because you did the you managed to find the dead body before as well. So like
that
3
counts as a
whole
different
rooms.
room? Hell yeah.
Yeah. Congrats. Bit by
That's
bit,
good for
getting you
us.
guys to piece
Progress.
together shit.
It's extremely good.
Anyway, we should probably end the recording here, shouldn't we?
Yeah.
Oh.
Recording.
All right, everyone want to say goodbye?
Bye.
Bye.